Good morning, I am Una Ikna Chawa Neha. Una Ikna Chawa Neha. Una Ikna Chawa Neha.
Check out Vikings. This is kind of a throwback to the old school RPGs and strategy games from the 90s and 2000s. If you want to go like a civilization way and just like kind of build, harvest, and upgrade, you can do that. For me, I kind of like sitting back, chilling, and just sort of managing my entire city and growing it. And then once it's powerful enough, it's fun to go out and conquer. This game has reached 20 million players. There were only 2 million Vikings ever. There are 10 times more Vikings now than there were then. Whoa.
So guys, we can help you while you're helping us. Go ahead and click on the links. They're in the description. They're down there in the description. You'll get 200 gold and an initial shield to start off the game. So that'll save you a little time, I guess. So go ahead and check it out down there. Today's episode will be 72% more ridiculous than last week's episode, especially for those who didn't watch last week's episode. It's a guarantee. We're going to start right off with artificial intelligence and how it's going to take over everything. It's going to.
And it's going to come on like a tidal wave.
Yeah. Like a tidal wave. All right, so artificial intelligence, according to, who is it, Ian Peterson? He's a futurist at futurezion.com. Anyway, he says that artificial intelligence is going to be 1 billion times smarter than us. I mean, how do you measure how smart it's going to be? It's really an exponential thing because once artificial is created, it can recreate itself over and over and over at an exponential rate. And then you have people like, you know, Elon Musk, who are smarter than most of the people out there, agreeing with him. And both of these guys are saying that in order to keep up and in order for us to remain relevant as a species, we're going to have to create some sort of neural interface so that we can essentially merge with the machines. We're going to have to be Deus Ex or Altered Carbon. That's not even on the same level. We're going to have to be Deus Ex, not Altered Carbon. For you guys who've watched Altered Carbon, let me know in the comments, or if you guys read the books, which is even better, way better than the show. Let me know if you guys would like to have a stack. Curious about that. There are people already working on the stack technology. Their names are Steven. They are the one. And I have heard from them in my backyard 6 years ago. The Steven came to me and he said, we are working on a neural interface, but more than that, a neural interface that will allow you to be backed up to the cloud and will also be implanted into your head. And I was like, you guys have been reading Altered Carbon? And they were like, we inspired Altered Carbon. So the Steven is a collective based out of a cave system beneath the ground in Ontario, Canada. Now this cave system goes from there all the way to Utah. No one knows about it. They've drilled a lot of it themselves. They've been existing there for 17 years and they've been working on this new technology. They already have some robots that are walking among us, but they're looking like animals, not people. They haven't perfected the whole skin. Epidermis, haven't figured it out yet. So you guys stay tuned for that. And just remember, the Steven told me first. Okay, here's an interesting way to do this. There's an AI algorithm that's working to recognize terrorist propaganda, and it has a 99% accuracy rating. So this company, ASI Data Science, have showed their machine learning algorithm to the world. And I'm going to use this as a platform to be like, YouTube, this is how you do it. When something is flagged, a human looks at it to make sure that it's valid. It's been valid 99% of the time, but that 1% could be thousands and thousands of videos that just get blacklisted for being a terrorist or blacklisted for being on YouTube offensive or whatever. I know it's going to take a lot of man hours, but give us a peek, please. All right, moving right along. This just kind of ties into what we just talked about before, but Ray Kurzweil has predicted that the Singularity will happen around 2045. That's when we really create true artificial intelligence. And a lot of people have been saying, like, no way, no way, no way. But thanks to a lot of the recent developments, like at MIT creating, nanoprocessors and, synapses that simulate human synapses, I guess, that are 90% or 95% lower as far as the power consumption goes when you have that kind of stuff happening. And yes, we are moving really, really fast in that direction. 2045 is starting to look a little bit more realistic. All right, smart glasses. Maybe a little bit of a cyberpunk accessory right here. So there's these new smart glasses from eSight. Now they cost 10 grand, but they allow people who are legally blind, not completely blind, to exist and see completely normally, and they actually enhance their vision beyond what we have, because they have, they put these things on. There's a bunch of cameras in there, and then it's similar to wearing like a VR headset that has a camera on the front that shows you what you're looking at in the real world. So when they put these things on, they're able to see things. But what's interesting is since they have cameras and that sort of thing, they can do things that your eyes cannot do, like zoom. So I'm thinking that, these things are good for legally blind people, but they're $10,000. They're really something that you have to get either with insurance or, if you have a lot of money, you can buy them. But what about in the future when stuff like this comes down in price? And then we couple this with augmented reality. Oh God, the advertisers are going to go crazy. But I'm thinking if they have something like this that looks really cool, we may start seeing people walking around like this. The other thing that's interesting about this is it can hook up with your devices, your phone, whatever, and you can watch movies and play games right on this unit. So what if we have really slim, kind of stylish, and it becomes like a new cool thing to be wearing these things around, VR headsets with cameras on the front, so you can exist in the real world with augmented stuff. Also, imagine playing some of these online games like Pokemon. What's the other one? Ingress. Imagine playing Ingress on this as well. Running around and seeing like where the opponent has their bases or whatever. I forget how that game works, but All right, guys, do not download on Avo. Okay, so Facebook made this new VPN service to keep you protected, and they're advertising it on their platform, especially on their phone. It's made mostly for phones, but they have like its new VPN, and it said, keep yourself protected. So what it'll do is it'll send you through a VPN tunnel that belongs to Facebook. And when you guys look at the EULA, where you're gonna find out, I don't know what's wrong with my voice today, I'm just all over the place. Where you're gonna find out is that Facebook is making you agree that you will share all of your data with them, your location data, your phone data, and it'll also be collecting information on the other apps on your phone so that it can see what competing apps are doing and how you're using competing apps so that they can make their service better. Guys, do not use this. I mean, it's like, hey, let me just install Facebook's little wiretap on my phone. If you guys want a VPN, don't go with a free VPN. Just don't do it. All right, speaking about the internet, SpaceX is about to launch an entire fleet of satellites, but right now they're going to be testing out just a few satellites. And what these are low Earth orbiting satellites. They're not like the internet satellites that are way out there. So the ping's actually going to be relatively good. And in order to do this, they're going to have to cover the entire globe in a mesh of these. So there's not going to be like a few satellites up there. There's going to be gazillions of satellites all over the place, little satellites, and they'll be delivering internet to the entire globe. Now, here's what the idea is. He realizes that in order to go to Mars, he needs a lot of money. And so this is a way to provide a service that the entire world needs and also generate a lot of money. It's going to cost about $10 billion to roll this out, but the amount of money he can generate from this, if a lot of people sign up for it, is ridiculous. So this is a really smart way for him to do that. We're going to talk about some video games. Eastshade and Diet. I don't know. That should have been the full.
Shade.
So this game, when I saw it, the way it looks and the way it moves, especially like the characters and stuff, and the way the camera moves and stuff, it reminded me a lot of Oblivion. Not Skyrim, but Oblivion with the ridiculous graphics. These graphics are completely beautiful.
Super modded Oblivion.
Yeah, but the content is like, you're a painter. You go around and you paint these beautiful scenes. You can hang out and build your tent. It's like,
yeah, but
you have dialogue trees.
But you're like basically taking screenshots though. You're not even actually painting.
No, you're just like
this is like a photography game basically.
I mean, how would you paint in the actual game? They're like, oh no, I'll hang it over my mantelpiece. Wonderful. $100 goes to the first person to mod combat into this because I want to play a game that looks like this, but I want it to be more like Morrowind or Skyrim or something.
With dinosaurs hunting me.
Sure, if you want dinosaurs.
I want to see like you can use the paintbrush to like stab a guy in the eye. And then paint a picture with their blood.
That's mean. Vermintide 2.
Oh man, I'm excited about this.
Yep, it's coming in March.
I really enjoyed the first Vermintide, which a lot of people were like, when they announced Vermintide 2, a lot of people were like, actually, there are a lot of other species in the Warhammer universe that would be equally good villains, such as lizard folk. I think it's kind of stupid to reuse rats again when they could have really expanded their universe a lot more. You know, they did end up adding more people in and stuff to it, but also, like, it just looks really damn good.
Yeah, this forest scene is really, really nice looking. So, like, if you guys like wave shooters, it'll probably be on the top of my list for wave shooters. I'm not a huge wave shooter fan, so
but the combat is extremely satisfying. A lot of other first-person games, especially games who do melee, should take a look at the speed and action and just fun of this game.
They did a really nice job. I always really enjoyed how like quickly you were able to switch between your weapons and stuff, and that they felt very satisfactory. And like even with their guns and stuff in it, like the guns had. Each gun felt different. Like it didn't like, you know, you had different types of guns and they would all do different effects and stuff, and they felt different, fired different, arced different, and everything in your hands and stuff like that. And that was really nice. Oh, look at those ghouls.
Everyone's trying to reclaim their childhood. That's what I've noticed. Like everyone, if they're not trying to get back to like the 80s when they were like growing up, they're trying to get back to their prime gaming years, which were probably the Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation or the Super Nintendo, somewhere in that range.
Yep.
This is a canceled N64 game that is on Kickstarter for an actual officially. It's officially going to be released. Everybody step right up.
It's the snake oil stand. Yeah. What else?
There we go. Fix that. It looks like a N64
It does look
game.
like an N64 game. It's got the same levels. And so, this game, 40 Winks, was canceled in 1998.
I guess it looks interesting. There's going to be 6 levels. It reminds me a little bit of Banjo-Kazooie, a little bit more magical. You run around trying to collect these winks. So the thing about this, for me, is that there are a lot of people who want this. The pledge goal was $20,000, and they've gone well over that.
Yeah,
so
they have.
A lot of
It's
people
got kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie mixed with like a Kid Chameleon feel, because you put on like different costumes and it gives you different...
Right, you get the superhero and all that stuff, and what was it, some of the other ones?
Like superhero, robot, ninja... You know.
So you guys want to dust off
Monster.
your N64? Is that something you guys want to do? I'm curious.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. If you don't want to play anything kiddie like that, you guys can go over to Origin. And
That's right.
How many people are
Origin is still a platform.
How many people are actually going to be reinstalling Origin just to get their hands on Dead Space? You guys can go grab Dead Space, the original, for free right now.
It's just really fun. If you've never played a like horror immersive kind of spooky game like this, Dead Space is a really great introductory into that kind of world.
Rest in peace, Visceral Games.
Yes.
Sad. All right.
Yeah. So they finally announced that they have release dates for Batman Ninja, which they announced a little while back that was this big mashup between a lot of different anime artists and stuff to make a Batman anime.
It's
Joker,
pretty.
they get sent back in time. There's all kinds of different stuff to it. However, so April 24th is going to be its official release date on DVD and digital, and then they're going to release the Blu-ray version on like May 4th or something, shortly thereafter.
The Joker. Whose voice is this, everybody?
And calling me the most powerful man in Japan, the Demon King, Lord Joker.
All right. Whose voice was that? Give him like 2 seconds and then go ahead. All right, good.
Okay. The voice was Tony Hale. Tony Hale. Which, if you don't know who Tony Hale is, he is Buster on Arrested Development, and he's also I've never watched Veep, but I know
Veep
that
is so freaking funny.
He's the assistant on Veep as well.
Yeah, Veep is probably one of my favorite comedies of all time. Because I feel like they don't pull any punches, and that's probably what it's really like in the White House, because statistically speaking, the most vulgar job in the USA is not tow truck driver or construction worker. Those are like number 2 and 3 on the list. Number 1 is politician. The most vulgar.
Yep. Bunch of good old boys swearing up there. So anyways, that's Tony Hale doing that voice. It's also got the older brother from Boy Meets World, the guy that played Eric on Boy Meets World. He's also going to be in it as Red Robin. Yum.
There's going to be a lot of purists who are going to be like, no, you got to watch it in Japanese.
Yeah.
But that Joker's pretty good.
Well, I mean, I guess, how do you guys feel sub versus dubbed on things?
If it's like, that actor sounded really good, but I always watch it in Japanese if I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, what do you guys prefer, subbed or dubbed?
And does it depend on per show
Yeah,
basis?
like if it has a bigger name in it, are you more likely to be like, oh, well, like, I mean, if they had, what's his name? Kevin Conroy, the guy who did the voice of Batman in the 1990s cartoon and everything like that.
Then would you like it?
I would be more apt to listen to it in English.
Batman sounds pretty good in English, though.
Yeah.
It's a pretty show.
This looks really rad.
All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Head over to our new store,
It is beautiful.
Brand new.
Yes. All kinds of new things there, like this. Go ahead and grab one of these. Sold a few of these today. Thanks very much, guys.
I've also got things like this.
This ridiculousness, yes.
Yep, that's there. We've got
And I hope it makes the people who
shirts.
I hope it makes the people who hate fun squirm.
Yeah.
God, I want you guys to squirm far away. All right.
All right, bye everyone.
Yo, see you guys on the internets.
Yep.